Well, if you are thinking about remodeling your home, then you know how important it is to have a great contractor. Interior designer Jewel Blair is here to share some of her tips. The most money-saving results possible can be had, in fact, if you follow these tips. It's good to see you on the show.
Nice seeing you too.
Okay, so let's talk real specifics. Let's get right to those tips because it can be a huge money pit if we do this wrong.
Exactly. You have to determine. First step is to determine what it is you want to do. And a lot of times people are thinking about remodeling an area and they're not really sure of what they want the outcome to be. Some people will come in and give you ideas and it won't come out like anything you had in mind. So you really need to know the scope of the project and what improvements you're actually going to see in the space when the job is done. If you don't have an idea of what you really want, go buy some of those magazines, Phoenix Home and Garden, look at model homes, see exactly what it is that you want to have happen in your house, and then that way you can kind of narrow the scope of the project.
Here's the deal though, Jewel. I know I'm not alone. You look at the magazines and then you go, yeah, I would like that. The problem is you don't realize how much that's going to cost.
Right.
So how do you look at the magazines and then assign kind of an appropriate and fair budget for that?
Well, the easiest way is to work with a designer. The designer will help you develop a budget, or if the designer's not going to be involved, the contractor can help you with the budget. Once you know the scope, look at the materials, the labor costs, that's going to be your budget. Once you determine your budget, you need to add at least 10 to 20% on top of that because things are going to happen while you're working on this project that they call change orders. So you want to have that extra money to the side in case you want to upgrade or add some more tile or get some extra carpet. You're going to need some backup money, some cushion in there. So
a lot of times too, like we'll say, you know, so-and-so Susie down the street, she used such and such contractor. You know, he wasn't licensed, but he gave her a really good deal, and she was okay with it. Yeah. But then for every story that you hear like that, you hear 20 stories where it was something went terribly wrong. This
whole segment is because I've been hearing some really scary stories about people using their cousin's friend or somebody
knew somebody. A lot of people are in the market now for that because of the economy, right?
Exactly, and then people are looking for bargains and ways to cut money from their projects, but you have to think about code regulations, you have to think about warranties, so you have to make sure that whoever you're working with is a licensed contractor. You can check that out on the Better Business Bureau website. There are other websites that I have added that will be on your website later on today to check out to make sure that a contractor is licensed. You don't want to overload your electrical circuits and wind up with a house fire. There are a lot of things that can happen if you're not working with a professional. Also using a professional, there's a quality factor. If you go to Home Depot or some other big box stores to purchase your own fixtures, there are certain lines of items that are made just for big boxes. But if you're working with a professional, they can get you wholesale pricing on a higher line of items that'll give you more wear and tear for your money.
Okay, so then let's ask how this works. So you hire the licensed contractor, so you might pay slightly more than the guy next door who is out of work.
Exactly.
But you're going to be a lot safer.
Definitely safer.
But you're also suggesting that we hire a designer. And what part of our budget needs to be devoted to that? And how does the designer get paid?
Designers work in different ways. Some of them will give you a total project price and they'll charge you that much for their hours for the whole project. Some designers will only charge you for what you purchase through them. If you're purchasing your tile, your carpet, your appliances and that from them, then they'll add on a certain percentage of that, and that's how they're paid. Every designer works differently, so you have to sit down and really talk about that. I do recommend, though, in this economy, to ask for working something out. How can we make this project go a little further? Everybody is wanting to work. So everybody's kind of open to talking about ways to shave off some money.
Well, speaking of talking of ways to shave off money and basically just talking to the designers, how many people should we interview to find a licensed contractor as well as an interior designer that works for us?
Right. If you're doing a simple one-room project, then you only need to talk to 1 or 2 people. If you're doing a whole house project, you want to talk to 1 or 2 contractors. And contractors will have a plumber, electrician, a tile person underneath that contractor itself. So once you identify which registered professional you're going to work with, always get those quotes, always make sure what's included in a quote, Make sure that you're comparing apples to apples. Make sure haul away is included in there, tear out, so that you really have a clue as to what it is you're purchasing from that person, but at least 2 quotes, and then evaluate those.
Okay, so we're evaluating apples to apples.
Right.
We've kind of gone through the process. We've found everybody. What is realistic in our expectations for getting the job done? Because everybody wants it done yesterday. I mean, we just want to live in that space and we want to enjoy it.
Well, and the timeline is going to be something that you can find out from the person that you hire. And if time is more important than money, then you need to find somebody that can complete the job in the time frame that you want. Right now, people are looking for work. We're at that season where people are coming back into town, and between now and Thanksgiving, finding a contractor to get your work done fast is getting ready to get really tight. So this is a really good time to get yourself into someone's schedule so that your job can be completed when you want it to be completed. It could be a 2-week process. If you have a kitchen remodel, it may require that you have to wait for cabinets 4 to 5 weeks. You have to have your granite fabricated. So there's a schedule that needs to be developed so you'll have a really good idea.
Well, lastly, if people have all the time in the world, and just like every industry, you can buy those products during a certain time of year for a discounted price. It just kind of depends on, you know, whether it's travel or whatever. There's always a prime season when stuff's not happening, you can get a discount. What season is that? What months are those for remodels?
The season that's almost over.
So it's the summer.
Summertime is the best time to get that done. We are moving into the time where that is getting ready to really get geared up. So if you can get somebody right now to schedule your job, this is a good time to get it done.
If it's a short project.
If it's even if it's a big project, you want to get into their program and get it on their calendar right now before everybody gets back and starts using up that time.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. I'm ready to remodel the house, honey. Let me just have the money. Okay, no, that's not going to happen. All right, but if it is going to happen for you, then we've provided all this information, and hopefully that does kind of help you square things away so that you can figure out how to start your project. And of course, we will provide Jules' information so you can contact her directly at sonoranliving.com.